What's up everybody, welcome back. So this is not one of my normal videos. Usually I'm out in the water catching fish, but today I want to combine two hobbies into one. So I need to add some context here. So when I was a teenager, I used to make fishing lures in my parents' garage, bring them to my local neighborhood pond and try to catch a bass on them. I made some lures that actually caught some fish, and I have some of them still to this day. It's like, here's a little frog lure I made. The paint's all messed up because the bass just tore it up. Made a little topwater plug, right? And these actually worked. I caught plenty of fish on these. So I'm an adult now with adult money, with better tools, and I figured, why not do this again? And in case y'all don't know, I do woodwork on the side. It's kind of like one of the ways I make extra money. I make charcuterie boards, cutting boards, bottle openers, knickknacks, tables, just whatever comes to mind. This is one of my personal favorites right here. That one came out really nice. So woodworking, lure making, not necessarily new to me, but probably new to you guys. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to make a fishing lure and go out and catch a fish with it. But if y'all like this type of content, let me know. If you go through this video and you wanna see more, please say something in the comments, or if this video gets 100 likes, I'll make a lure specifically for tuna. It's that time of year, we're gonna be out there trolling for them anyway, so if I can catch one of my own lures, awesome. So if y'all wanna see that, let me know. If this video gets to 100 likes, I'll do it. But let's go ahead and get into it and mind my shed, guys. It's a mess, I know. Okay, so I already know I'm going to kick myself in the butt for this, but this is what I'm thinking. So that's the top view, that's the side view. This is gonna be a little glide bait. Now, glide baits are challenging to make as is. And to make matters worse, this is gonna be a really small lure, especially for a glide bait. So, I have my work cut out for me. This is not gonna be an easy build, especially since I haven't done this in years. But we're gonna do it. I wanna catch a decent red or decent trout, maybe take it offshore, catch something offshore with it. It'll be fun. So, we're gonna stick to it. Let's see if we can make a little glide bait. Let's get to it. Okay, so we're gonna be using red cedar for this build. Now, I already know that's not the best wood for glide baits. It's a soft wood, it's easy to carve, easy to work with, and the main reason I'm using it, I have a lot of red cedar right now. So if I mess up, I can just cut out more blanks. So I already transferred the outline to one of these blocks, and I have the hinge part where the two pieces will be connecting marked out in the center here. Now before I actually cut out this shape, I want to get the hard part out of the way. I want to go ahead and partially cut the two halves of the glide bait first. That is like the sketchiest part of glide baits. You'll carve it out, you'll sand it down, it looks really good, and then you need to cut it in half. And sometimes we'll mess that part up. So if I'm gonna mess up, I want to do it while it's just a block of wood and not something I've been working on for hours already. So let's go ahead and just partially cut the two halves of this glide bait first, then I'll carve everything out and it'll just go a lot smoother, trust me. I promise this will make sense in a little bit. Let's just do it. Okay, so first I made this little tool here. It's pretty much just a 2x4 with some magnets glued into it. And I think I cut it at like a 22 or 25 degree angle. And this is just a little tool to help keep the blade flush to that surface while I'm making this cut. I made both these cuts and made sure they were pretty even on both sides. Now I left about 1/8 of an inch of material in the center. That way I can still carve the rest of the lure out. Alright, we're at the bandsaw. Oop. Don't judge me, my stuff is not the best. Alright, we're gonna cut this side profile out now. There we go. And after that, I did the same thing for the top profile. Still a little blocky, but looks a little more fishy now. Just a little bit, not by much. Alright, so the front profile is still very blocky. So we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna take just a regular utility knife, a box cutter, and just gently shave off those corners, right? So it actually looks round. So it'll really start to look fishy once I'm done with this. Let me get to carving, and I guess y'all enjoy this montage of me whittling. So it is the next day, and that's where we're at right now. So we're done carving. Now I'm going to take some sandpaper and just kind of smooth it out, make it look pretty. But so far so good. Alright, so nothing crazy here. I just have 180 grit sandpaper. You know, it's funny. When I used to make lures in high school, I wanted to start my own lure company. And I thought at a very young age, oh yeah, I can totally mass produce wooden lures by hand. Life would be great. That was so stupid. So now it's time to focus on lead. Went ahead and drilled some pilot holes where the lead was going to go. Now this next part I was a little nervous about because I've never done this before. And this is why I'm a little nervous. So I have a brand new lead pot, and I've never used these before. So this is going to be a learning experience. I'm sure it's pretty easy, but I've just never done it before. So, sweet. Instructions, yep, might need that. Okay, I'm going to fiddle with this for a little bit, and whenever I figure it out, I'll get back to you. Okay, so the lead's hot. And it smells like lead in here, hence why I'm wearing the face mask. Let's just do it. I really don't know what to expect right now. How fast is this? Oh, shoot. Okay, alright. That was easy. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to shave some of them, but that wasn't bad. That was actually super simple. I just ended up using a belt sander to grind that lead down. It worked out, so I can't complain. So next I had to make hook hangers. Now the wire I used for these were a little too brittle, so I had to hand twist them. I got a few made, but I'll show you guys a better way to make these later. If you've watched any of Marling Bait's videos, you probably already know what I'm going to do. I drilled some holes, put some Gorilla Glue on those hook hangers, and screwed them into the lure, and then it was time for testing. Okay, we've got our bowl of water right here. I'm going to go ahead and put some hooks on the eyelets. Let's see, will it sink? Will it float? It floats. But honestly, that looks pretty good. I'm not surprised here. I kind of expected it to float because cedarwood is pretty buoyant, and I didn't have a whole lot of room for lead, but it sinks enough that just the back is sticking out of the water. This could easily work as a floating glide bait, and I am totally okay with that. So that'll do. That is what we're working with right now. Now I gotta make a tail for this lure. I'm not using anything fancy. This is just plexiglass that I got from the hardware store. I traced out a tail-like shape and just cut it out with a bandsaw. So attaching the tail was pretty easy. I just cut out a notch in the lure, slid the tail in, drilled a hole through the lure and the tail together, and then pegged both with a toothpick. There we go. Just a regular toothpick. Yes. There we go. Got the toothpick all the way through, and that tail is not going anywhere, which is super nice. So let's trim this tail off. Not the tail, the peg. Let's trim the peg off. Now I am gonna have to sand that down a little bit and clean it up. That worked out pretty well. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. And now I just need to cut the rest of the lure in half. I am really glad I got those cuts started while it was still a block of wood, because imagine if I had to cut this lure in half at this point and I didn't have those. That would be pretty nerve-wracking. How is it not? There it is. There we go. And we have our 2 halves. And I can just clean that up with some sandpaper. That's not bad at all. That was a pretty easy break. But that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to go get some sleep, but so far so good. Okay, so it's maybe a week later, and I've done a little bit of work to it, but nothing much. All I did was drill some holes out for the eyes, and just cleaned it up a little bit. Nothing crazy. I also made some hardware for the joints whenever that time comes. So I got 2 of these guys. Pretty easy to make, same as last time, except you just loop on one that's already made and then you twist the second one. It's super easy. But that's it. It looks pretty good. I kind of goofed on the eyes, I'm not gonna lie, when I was drilling those out, so I'm not entirely happy about the way they look. It looks good on one side or the other, but if you look at it like dead on, or you compare the 2 holes that I made, they're so off. It's stupid, but it's okay. This is a test run. It's a prototype. It's fine. I don't think the fish are gonna care too much. Now, the next part is painting. I'm gonna try to keep it super simple. We're just gonna make it look like a fish, nothing fancy, and go from there. Okay, here we go. So I don't have anything fancy here. So I have an airbrush that I got off of Amazon. It's a master airbrush. I think it was like 40 bucks. So if you're interested in this, I can leave the link down below. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just get right into it. I'm not even gonna practice, because this whole thing is practice. First, I started with titanium white. Just covered the entire lure to give it a base coat. I used some mesh from an old dip net that I really wasn't using anymore, and wrapped the lure, and that was gonna be my scale pattern. I used a slightly darker gray over the white. And then after that, I just did some experimenting with some yellows, some browns, and blacks. I kept the top of the lure kind of dark, the bottom of the lure very white. I sprayed some black in the eyes to give it some good contrast. For my first time airbrushing anything, this came out surprisingly well. Okay, it's the next day. Right now, we're working on eyes. We gotta put eyes on the lure. Now, I did buy some off of Amazon, but I don't like them. One, they're just a tad too big. They don't fit in the eye socket very well. And 2, another problem that I have with them, and it's super like minor, it's not really a huge deal. So they don't mirror each other. So they're all facing one way. It's like a oblong pupil, but they don't mirror each other. And if I flip one upside down, like the darker part of the eye will be higher on one side and then the other side will be lower. So I'm not going to use them. We're going to make our own eyes. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, fair warning, this is not me. I had to look up a YouTube video on how to do this, but it's pretty easy. So let's go through it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want is a nail. You want to get one as close to a circle as possible. Then another thing you're going to need is some sticker paper or holographic paper, whatever you want to call this. And from here it's pretty simple. Just cut out a circle out of the sticker paper. We have our circle. Not sure if y'all can see that. There's a circle on there. Okay, and I'm just gonna carefully cut it out. I'm gonna hold the nail head up against the paper, and I'm just gonna cut around the nail head. By the way, you can get this sticker paper off of Amazon. I'll leave it linked down below, and in case y'all haven't noticed, I am personally keeping Jeff Bezos in business, because most of the stuff I've bought for this project came off of Amazon. There we go. So we have 2 circles. Alright, so now what we're going to need 2 nails stuck in a piece of wood, just like this. And then we're also going to need some glue, but we don't need anything super strong. We need something to peel off of later. I'm just going to use some wood glue real quick, because it's all I got right now. And I'm just going to put like the smallest dab on there. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. That's it. Spread it around a little bit. And then I'm just going to set these 2 pieces right on top of these nail heads. Our 2 little circles. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So we got our 2 circles on nail heads. Now we can go ahead and draw any design we want. I'm just going to put a little dot in the center for the pupils. Let me do that real quick. I think that'll work. Close enough. So there we go. Those are our eyeballs. Looks alright. And this one's going to get a little crazy. So this is UV resin. And pretty much what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a drop on each eye, and then we're going to harden it. It's going to make like a perfect dome in like an eyeball shape. It's going to make sense in a little bit, just trust me. And what you want to do, you just want to put enough on there so it just covers the rim of the nail head, if that makes any sense. It's going to be like a perfect little mound of resin. And this produces UV light. There we go. This is one of those things the girls use to get their nails done and stuff. I got it off Amazon for like 40 bucks. Again, Amazon. Okay, I really don't know how long this takes. Alright, this little puddle's already hard. Are you good? Oh, they're hard already. Cool. That took like 30 seconds. So there we go. We have our homemade 3D eyes. And since I use kind of crappy glue, they should just be able to pop right off. There we go. Now the sticker paper does have adhesive on the back, hence sticker paper, but we're not going to use that. We're going to use some sort of glue to glue it onto the lure, because I don't trust that. I've never made 3D eyes like this before, but it worked out pretty well. I was impressed. And now we're on to one of the most important steps of lure making, and that is the clear coat. And for this project, I used Aluminite resin. It's just a resin that cures with UV light. Now this part was a little tricky because the lure didn't quite fit in the jar. Ideally, you just want to dunk the entire lure in the resin, let it drip for a few minutes, and then set it up in UV light. I kind of had to improvise when I found out that they weren't going to fit in the jar, so I just took a paintbrush and brushed the rest of it on the lure. After I let it drip for a little bit, I set it up in the UV light and let it cure. Now the first coat is never good. Usually it's pretty uneven, and there'll even be spots where you completely missed. All I did was take some 400 grit sandpaper and just lightly sanded some of that resin down, put on another coat of resin, let it cure, and repeat the process. But once the clear coat was done, all I had to do was attach the hinge hardware, throw on some hooks, and it was ready to go fishing. Now, I'll be honest, I wasn't super confident in this lure, but I was pretty excited to get in the water. But unfortunately, it just didn't swim. A dog turd probably could have swam better than this lure. It is what it is. Well, that was pretty disappointing. All that work, and it didn't even swim. But you know what? That is lure making. And I haven't made a lure in over 10 years, 15 years. So This was definitely expected. I am not bummed. This is just a learning curve. So there's a few things that need to change here. One, this gap between the two pieces is terrible. The hinges are just awful. The way I had to put them in, it was super goofy. Not really a fan. I also don't like how big it is. So I preach this almost every time I go fishing inshore around here. These fish like small presentations, and this thing is pushing maybe 5 inches total length. So I'm just gonna chalk this up as a practice round, and we're gonna make something else. And this is what I have in mind. This is probably gonna be more like a pinfish profile. It can also pass as a croaker, or if I decide to fish freshwater, it can be a little bluegill or something like that. I'm also changing the hinge design. So instead of just having a bunch of loops interlocking each other, I'm pretty much gonna have 2 loops coming out of the head and a pin going straight down in the tail, if that makes sense. It will once I get there, I promise. But this is gonna be a smaller lure. I think this is only maybe 4 inches, including the tail. The body is only 3. So I think that will be a good profile to fish in this area. Another change I'm making is I'm changing the wood. So instead of cedar, I'm gonna go with maple. The reason why I'm going with this is because the cedar is kind of soft, and I'm gonna have a lot of pressure on that pin that's holding the 2 pieces together, and I don't want a fish to break that off. So maple's gonna be a little harder, a little stouter, so it should hold the lure together a little bit better. So that's the plan right now. Let me get this design transferred onto this block of wood, and we'll get going. Hopefully this one works. We're about to find out. Don't worry, we're not going through that whole build process again. But I will highlight the changes I made to make this lure better. First, I started by making it thinner. I ripped it down to I think 5/8 of an inch. So I got these 2 cuts started like I did last time, but while it was still a block of wood, I went ahead and drilled a hole where the pin was going to go that's going to connect the 2 halves later on. Okay, there we go. After that, it was more carving and sanding.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's how you make hook hangers with a drill. I bet y'all thought I forgot about that. Twist the end just like that. That looks good. There we go. And now you're gonna put it in your drill. Got my nail right there. I'm just gonna hook it on the nail, and I'm just gonna start twisting. Pop it off, and there we go. That is a nice, clean hook hanger. And this is just stainless steel wire that I've got from Ace Hardware, actually. And it works really, really well. After we made some hook hangers, we went ahead and cut the lure in half, just like we did last time. Okay, so the lure is cut. He's in 2 pieces now. He should be able to swim pretty well with this design so far. Okay, now the next step here, I need to go ahead and temporarily construct him. I need to put them together and see how it floats. And if I like it, cool, I'll just do whatever setup I have configured. Or I might need more lead, I might have to tweak it a little bit, we'll just see. But I'm gonna temporarily put this together, and then we're gonna give it a test. And to do that, that means I'm gonna have to put the hinge in. So what I'm gonna do with this side, I'm gonna make 2 grooves right here, but deep enough so I can put these screw eyes in and the pin can go through the top. That probably makes more sense. Earlier probably didn't make any sense, but this is what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead, get that built. Okay, now let me put this together real quick so it makes sense. Okay, here we go. See, I got the pin through, and I got the hinges right here, and this pin is going through the eyelet. And now it's time to test it out. Okay, first, let's go ahead and put this guy together. Just gonna stick him in there. There we go. Now, what I'm thinking, in terms of weight, I'm hoping I just need to put some right here in the belly. I don't think I'm going to need any of the tail because of the hook hanger, the hook itself, and the tail. I think that's going to be enough weight for the back. But the head's definitely going to need some. I just hope it's right here in the belly. So let me get a piece of electrical tape here. Now I know it's going to need a decent amount of weight, so I'm going to start off with one of these guys. And I'm just going to tape it to the lure. Alright, here we go. Just gonna hook them on there like that. Let's see what it does. That is almost, actually, that might be perfect. We might have a first time go. That is awesome. That was easy. This is like the easiest test run of all time. Okay, awesome. So I drilled it out, put some lead in it, and I filled up the gap with some UV resin. And now we're on the painting. The paint scheme is extremely similar to the first. Nothing super special here. From this point, everything was just about the same up until the clear coat. I just went ahead and painted the resin on with a brush. I made sure I had really thin, even coats. But instead of hanging it in front of a UV light, I actually have a rotisserie that works perfectly for lure making. So this device is actually meant for tumblers. I think you're supposed to slide the cup over the styrofoam and then you can like put whatever design you want on it while it's rotating. But this works really well for lures too. The resin is naturally going to distribute itself evenly across the lure, and then all I had to do was put a UV light in front of it. Done. All they had to do was put it together, and it was ready to go fishing. Okay, today is the day. So I'm not gonna lie, I've already given it a few casts, and I am very, very impressed in how this thing swims. It swims well, but I'm just gonna show you guys. Okay. So it floats, okay? So that kind of sucks, but it's okay. Because it does have a very nice swimming action to it. Look at that. It looks really good. Has a nice little wobble to it. Now, right now, it doesn't look as good because it's right next to the kayak and I'm bumping it to my rod in my crate right now. But let me give it a cast and y'all can probably see it a little bit better. But I do have to work it a tad slower than what I'm used to fishing for it to get the really nice swimming action that it has. But it works. It works super well. I'm very confident we can get a redfish or something to hit this. For the first lure that I've made that actually swims in like 15 years, I am very, very happy with that. I'm trying not to toot my own horn, but I'm really excited. Okay, let's go find a fish that wants to eat this. Okay, so I'm gonna start by fishing my normal routes, places where I know I see fish, either redfish or trout. I have a 4000 Diosaltus MQ paired with a medium heavy bull bay rod. I got 30-pound braid, 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. If a fish smacks it, 30-pound is plenty to work that fish. I'm not gonna be stressing too much if he breaks me off or something like that. It's also thin enough in this area where fish will still hit it too. So let's see what we can do. I think I can get a redfish or oh look, something already smacked it. That's probably a pinfish or a lizardfish, but that's a good sign. But as I was saying, I think I can get a redfish or a trout to hit this. It might take a little bit of time because this isn't something they're used to seeing. So that could be good or it could be terrible. So we're gonna find out. Oh, look, there's a bunch of bait on this dock right here. Get up in that corner. Yeah, let's see. See if anything will be mad about that. Ooh. That gave me a heart attack. That was a little lizard fish. Oh, that's a trout. Hey, dude. Oh, he was all over it. Damn it. He was all about it. He was very interested. Dang it. I started pulling in right by the kayak and a trout came up to look at it. Oh, yeah, I totally swallowed a bug. Ugh. That's a redfish. Hi, dude. Dude, that bug messed me up. My gosh. Oh, yes. Dude, red's chasing it. Eat it, dude. Dude, this redfish was chasing it. Oh, he wants it, dude. He was chasing it. He busted a Yui and came chasing it. Oh my gosh. That gives me hope. And an itty bitty teeny weeny redfish. Oh, there's a redfish looking at it right now. Dude, eat it. Oh my gosh. I wasn't even paying attention. I was looking at the little 5-inch redfish right next to my kayak, and I didn't even realize there was a redfish following the glide bait. I am an idiot. So that first day was a complete bust. Didn't catch any fish on the glide bait. Had some really good follows, but just no commitment. However, I don't think it's the bait. I think the glide bait is fine. I think it will get eaten, because off camera, I did try a few other lures just to make sure, like, is it the lure they don't like, or are they just not eating in general right now? And nothing was eating, except for lizardfish. So it gives me hope that this lure will, in fact, catch a fish. And I think we can make it happen this evening. I hope. If not, it's back to the drawing board again. But let's see if we can make it happen. Ooh, look at all this bait right here. Tons of bait. Super small profile. Come on, man. Just give me one fish that's hungry. I mean, it swims so good. That's a redfish right there. What you doing, buddy? No, don't swim away. Please come back and eat this. Pretty sure he nope, he's on it. He's on it. Dude, eat it, dude. Eat it, dude. He was on it. He chased it and he missed it. He took a swipe at it. Are you serious right now? I probably couldn't see that because the flag was in the way, but this thing, he was on it. Oh my gosh, dude. He came up and like nipped the tail, I guess. His mouth came out of the water for it. Like he was all about it. I was starting to get extremely discouraged. I had put so many hours into making these 2 lures, and even though this one was swimming great, I still couldn't seem to get a fish to eat it. And I was really starting to think that I might have to make this lure all over again. Okay, we're at the second to last spot of the afternoon. I haven't had too much luck. Had some follows. Had one fish actually try to eat it. It's pretty much the same situation as last time I was here. There's a lot of bait, there's a lot of mullet, there's a lot of ladyfish, but there's not a lot of redfish or trout. Man, I knew this was gonna be tough, but dang. What is that? That doesn't sound like mullet. It could be mullet, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna count it, but even if I catch a ladyfish right now, I'll be happy. I'd still have to catch a trout or a redfish on it, but I just want to catch some. Oh, there's a red. Dude. Eat it, eat it. Oh, dang it, dude. There's 2 redfish on it. Oh my gosh. Just eat the stupid lure. They were bulls. They were good sized reds. I felt like that was my shot. I felt like that was the fish I was supposed to eat this today. You don't get too many chances at redfish like that. There we go. Finally. Finally. No way. No way, man. Oh, it's a good redfish. Oh, it's a good redfish. On the lure. On the homemade lure. Please stay on. Please stay on. Yes. 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 Dude, that was awesome. That was the exact blow up that I was imagining this lure would produce. Come on, come over here, man. Just do not pop me. Dude, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I was complaining in the middle of that eat too. Like, I think that was it, man. I think I just missed my chance of catching a fish today. Nope. We got it done. Maybe, I still need to net him. Come over here, man. Come over here, man. Come over here, man. Pretty redfish. He's in a net. Yes! Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I did not want to have to go back and redo this lure again. Yes. Guys, we did it. We caught a redfish on a homemade glide bait. There we go. Yes! This one fish made my week. Y'all have no idea. Dude, he smoked it. He came completely out of the water for this thing. That was amazing. What a great way to end this challenge with a redfish skying on the lure that I made. That is awesome. Let's get him unhooked, get him on his way. That is a pretty redfish too, man. He is dark. Yes, let's go. Oh, yes. This has been the most excited I've been about catching a redfish in a minute. Okay, man, I'm gonna get you back in the water. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Look at that fish, man. Come on. There he goes. Yes. Yes. We did it. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a long one, and I'm not gonna lie, I was stressing out way too much over this challenge. I just spent so much time and energy into making these lures. I was like, I need to get this done, but we did. We got it done. We caught a nice redfish. And it was great to see the progression from this lure which was good to get back into lure making, but was not good functionally at all. But we went from this to this, and this is the one that got it done. Now, it isn't perfect. If I were to rate this 1 through 10, I'd probably give it like an 8. So it swims good. I wouldn't say it's like extravagant, but it swims. The paint scheme's good, a clear coat's good. It's a lot better, but there is room for improvement. But this is what that Redfish 8. I'm very, very happy with that. Now, I really hope y'all enjoy this video. If y'all want to see more lure making, please let me know down in the comments. And like I said in the beginning, if this video gets to 100 likes, I'll make a lure specifically for blackfin tuna. And if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, please go check those out. I've caught plenty of blackfin tuna from a kayak. So if you're new to this channel, please go watch those. But that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time.